Joining us now to talk about why gas prices are so low and how these drops in pricing could affect more than just how we spend through the new year is our friend Peter Schiff, Euro Pacific Capital's Chief Executive Officer. Peter, Skyping in from Puerto Rico. It's so good to have you here on America's Forum, Peter.
Oh, nice to be here.
So, for consumers, this is great. And do you believe it will boost spending on Christmas gifts as opposed to spending this money as it's been spent heretofore on gas?
Well, I hate to be the Grinch, but falling oil prices were a gift in 2008 too. If you remember, oil prices dropped from about $150 a barrel down to close to 30. So it was a much bigger drop to much lower levels. And sure, it was a benefit for consumers, but it was also the beginning of the 2008 financial crisis and the Great Recession that ensued. So I think we can enjoy cheaper gasoline, but I think, unfortunately, it's probably a harbinger of another recession.
Oh, Peter, you are a Grinch. You're raining on our parade. Okay, let's...
Yeah, well, oil prices weren't the only prices that the Fed propped up with QE. And so now that the Fed is winding down QE and threatening to raise rates, a lot of the markets that were lifted on a sea of liquidity are coming down. And the oil market is coming down first, but the stock market's going to come down. The real estate market's going to come down. And since our entire recovery was built on a foundation of housing bubbles, as they deflate, the recession returns. But the Fed's going to come to the rescue, unfortunately, once again with QE4. And when they do that, the price of oil is going to go right back up.
Whoa, now you're quantitative easing 4, which is just a fancy way to say the government is going to print more money and all the consequences that entails. Before they get there, Peter, in the minute and a half that remains in this particular segment, since you're staying with us through the break, is there any silver lining? For example, holiday travel, buying airline tickets, the lower price of fuel help the airlines at least through the first quarter next year?
Of course there's a silver lining. The problem is the cloud, and the cloud is much bigger than the lining. Yes, it's always a benefit to consumers when prices go down. It was a benefit to consumers when real estate prices went down, because that means if you wanted to buy a house, it got cheaper, so you can afford more house. So that was a good thing, but look at the crisis that ensued. See, the problem is a lot of money has been borrowed, predicated on the belief that oil would be $80 to $100 a barrel. So if those loans default and a lot of jobs get lost temporarily, that's going to bring about a recession, which unfortunately the Fed is going to respond to by printing more money. And again, it's not just oil prices that are going to be coming down. Oil might be the first price to come down, but it's not the last. The stock market's going to come down, the real estate market's going to come down, and the bond market's going to come down.
Well, Peter, it is a real downer. Now, we know, we were talking to Peter before we brought him on the air. He's in Puerto Rico. It's raining there today, but...
Affecting his mood? No.
No. He's taking a look at the implications for the markets. Bottom line is, enjoy the low prices now. Beware the consequences of those low prices in the not too distant future. In the immediate future, we'll step aside, then we'll bring back Peter Schiff and talk more about energy and the economy right after this.